Hello, my name is Jörg and welcome to coachRED.net. In the last video, we did the login of a user. In this one, we will do the logout. In the Appgyver composer, I go over to the page list. On top, I have the container with the session token. I drag in an icon into that container. The icon should be on the same line like the session token. So I go into Style and Layout to make it horizontal. Perfect. Now I spread the items as far apart as possible and center them. Great. Next, the icon. I simply change it to a different icon name. I just use the on-off switch. Now over to the logic of things. I first check in the REST API guide how the logout works. I find the information in the chapter sessions. So here it is deleting a session. Deleting a session is the same like logging out a user. I see that it is a post request. I have two headers, the application ID, the REST API ID. I know how to use them. And now for the first time, I have the session token also as a header. All right, we can configure that. I'm still lazy, so I get the HTTP request out of the login page. Here I go over to the login button and copy the HTTP request. Back to the list page and now the logout button, and here in the logic section the HTTP request gets copied in and connected to the component tab event. The configuration starts with the URL. The resource URL will be the same, but the relative path is different. So I check it out here in the documentation. I copy that and replace the login username string with my logout. Okay, the rest of the parameters for the login I don't need, so I get rid of it. Great. The HTTP method is a post method. Yes, it is a post method. So I change that. Next to the headers, I have the session token in the headers. I copy the spelling of the header and then head over to the header configurations. So my first two headers are still the same, but the third one is different. I paste in the session token and the value is the app variable session token. Perfect. That's good. Save it. The HTTP request is configured. Afterwards, I want to do three things. One is to reset my app variable session token. The second one is to return to the login screen. Since that is on a different page stack, there are flow functions to do that. If you don't have this return to initial view installed, go to the flow function market and install it. And the third thing, I want a little visual confirmation that I'm logged out. So I drag in the toes, connect it, and it simply says user is logged out. All right, it's testing time. Before I test it in the preview app, I want to have a look behind the scenes on the Sashido dashboard. Here I have one user and 0 sessions. Exactly what I want. Okay, now to the preview. I am at the login screen. My username and password is Q and I log in. The login worked. I have my session token and the other data from Sashido. How does it look in the Sashido dashboard? So I refresh and I see that I have one session open. That's what I expect. On the blue button, I can see which user it is, and it is my user queue. Back to the preview app, I log out. I get the visual, user is logged out, and I'm back on the login screen. Let's see how it looks on the Sashido dashboard. I refresh the session and there's no session. Okay, the session is deleted. That's what was intended. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we will secure your data so only logged in users can see it. See you there.